Have you ever noticed how the healing can start once you stop agitating and scratching the scab? The title here today is Lose the Bent Nail in Your Pocket. It's an old Scottish proverb about somebody who bears a grudge. They're carrying a bent nail around in their pocket. Seriously, it's doing you harm. It's sending the wrong signals, and it can be painful. The reason you're carrying a bent nail around in your pocket, if you are, is because you're being irresponsible. You're engaging in a self-harming act, and you're carrying around something that has no practical use. What use is a bent nail other than to make you sore, perhaps give you an infection? So what are the symptoms of having a grudge, carrying a bent nail? Well, the first thing is you're going to be angry. Somebody who's going to be carrying something painful in their pocket is always going to be in a state of anger because they're in a state of distress. Because they're in a state of distress, obviously they're upset. So your demeanour and your interpersonal relationships are going to suffer because you're going to be angry and distressed. And the other thing that's going to happen is you're going to be looking for trouble. You're going to be seeking the kinds of nasty situations and circumstances which will compound your misery. As the saying goes, misery loves company. But let's face it, if you are angry, you're just engaged in a state of flight. Anger is a flight mechanism. It sounds like it's a proactive and positive step forward, but in fact, it's a form of self-defense. It's just a way of telling the world to back off and leave you be. So if you put yourself into a grudge state, carrying this painful bent nail in your pocket, you're going to be continually pushing people away from you. And if you want better outputs and you want to be more productive in your life, you're going to have to learn to be able to embrace people rather than repel them. Another area of personality and emotion is the passive aggressive. So the upset person is a passive aggressive actor. They aren't actually aggressive, but they aren't actually passive either. What they do is engage in a series of activities which are, shall we say, unpleasant. They make snide remarks, fail to follow through. They say they're going to do something, but they're inconsistent. They feel, or it feels like they're laughing at you all the time. Passive-aggressive behaviour is essentially dishonest. It's the fallback of a person who can't commit, but isn't honest enough to tell people that they're refusing to commit. So the bent nail and the grudge is either going to result in an angry outburst or a passive-aggressive, slow cook. Both of those are counterproductive and they're going to spoil your outputs. What purpose does a bent nail serve? None whatsoever. All you're going to be doing is you're going to be seeking the outcomes that are going to confirm your grudge, and you're going to end up in a state of cognitive bias, also known as prejudice. So what you have now is a grudge-bearing individual who is angry, passive-aggressive, and constantly seeking situations and evidence that they are right to do so. Your rage is a waste. It's a waste of energy. Instead of dedicating your time and energy and expense into seeking out an enemy, consider the idea that the enemy actually might be you. You might be your own worst enemy if you're carrying a bent nail around in your pocket. It's time to accept responsibility, therefore. Carrying a grudge and experiencing all of those characteristics does not mean you are a bad person. We're not talking black and white thinking here. What we're talking about is misapplied strategies, attitudes, techniques, mentalities and emotions. The first valuable step towards getting out of there is to accept responsibility for what's happened. Reclaim your power thereby. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying it's simple. The next thing is, if you're in a state of upset, that's a form of self-harm. You're hurting yourself, and you're only giving your advantage away to other people. Not only the people who might actively exploit your foibles, but other people who are completely unconscious of the grief and grudges that you're carrying, who are just getting on with their lives. Now, there is a phrase in the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. I think that about sums it up, don't you? Especially the first part. Forgive us our trespasses. Forgive yourself. Reanimate the real you. Bring back to life the optimistic, trusting, and liberated person that you once were before you started carrying some counterproductive, time-wasting, energy-consuming grudge. The other thing about carrying the bent nail in your pocket is that your bias, cognitive or prejudicial, is going to be a form of laziness. I'd like to invite you to challenge that laziness and consider this. It's time to pick up the tools and get back to work. Nobody is coming to rescue you, nor should you expect anybody to come and rescue you. It's time for you to do the work. Take ownership of your work and take ownership of what is yours. Stop looking for other people to blame for the pain that you're inflicting on yourself. Remember, in this life, we only get one shot. Don't waste your time and energy worrying about other people, bearing grudges, carrying out, acting out, and wasting your time. So find the nail, locate the source of your grudge and ditch it. Own what you've done and move on. Seek out the tools that you can use and that can assist you to improve. And remember, the bottom line is, you're better than that. Thank you for listening, watching thus far, fellow seeker. I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, whatever you do or dare to dream, begin it now.